Oh, here we go.
Okay. All right. So to start off with, I'll just show you what Hapara looks like. So from the screen, I'll have all of my classes here. So if I wanted to start by looking at one of my Year 10 workspaces, I'd click on 10 class, and then I would go to workspace. And it will take me to the workspaces that I've created. Now, I actually haven't created most of these workspaces. My colleagues have, which is why some of them say copy, copy. And that's the first thing that I love about Hapara, is that you can delegate tasks, and different staff members can create different workspaces and then just share it with everyone in your department, so it reduces planning time. Unlike other platforms where you still have to individually load things onto your individual classrooms, you copy the entire workspace with all of the resources in there. So once I'm in the workspace, this one's already been set up and shared to my learners. So I'll show you some of the features. Over in the evidence column is where you can attach Google Docs and Google Slides, and other activities that learners can actually work on. So you can see here we've got started, and I can see 19 of my learners have started, 0 have submitted, and 0 have been assessed. Now, I'll show you a senior studies workspace soon that actually has some submitted and assessed pieces of work as well. But basically, you can click on these, see their names, click on the individual documents and see what work they have produced. If I wanted to give it a grade, they would have to submit it, and once they submitted it, I would be actually able to give it a grade, and then I could even click on the grade sheet and have a Google Sheets produced with all of their grades sitting basically on a Google Sheets spreadsheet for me, ready to go. So that's the main thing with the evidence column. In the resources, I put all of the resources that I want them to use. Now, learners can't actually edit any of the documents in this location, which is quite good. So you can put lots of Google Slides that show them how to do various things, any YouTube videos, and YouTube videos will play directly from Hapara within the Hapara workspace itself. It means that you can get around YouTube being blocked sometimes, so that can be really handy. So that's pretty much it for the basics of Hapara. Now, how to add.
This is what you would see as a teacher.
This is what I see as a teacher.
What would learners see?
Well, the learners don't see sort of what I'm scrolling over here, which are the blank cards or create a card. So they still see all of these cards here. And you might notice that these have been color coded.
Yep.
So you can actually have the color coding to show learners, well, this is the activity and this is the resource that goes along with that activity. So you can set it up however you like. There's tons of colors to choose from.
Is there a feature on here where you can actually go into it?
No, I don't think there is, or I've never used like a preview or anything like that. But it's pretty obvious what they see. It's literally, they just don't see the messy parts of the workspace. So it's quite nice for what they see. Now, I might go into a different workspace to show you something a little bit more high-tech. So I'm going to scroll down. Yeah. Now you can see there's a lot of workspaces here for this class. So basically, I tend to use one workspace per unit. of work. Sometimes if I've copied workspaces from my colleagues, I end up with more workspaces per unit because we've all made certain parts for the unit. But for my seniors, I definitely just keep it to one workspace per unit of work. And obviously, you can give it a title, so it's quite easy for the kids to go through and go, okay, that's human rights. There's current events. What we're going to look at is the Google Cardboard pilot. And this is because I can show you how groups work. Now this workspace here, this is the teacher version that we're looking at, because we actually made teachers a separate group from our learners, and I actually set up a group for my class and a group for one of my colleagues' classes. And my colleague, she wanted to set her workspace within here, so we're all working off the exact same workspace because we are all co-teachers. So you can add multiple teachers. Instead of making copies, you can all work off the same one if you prefer to do it that way.
Right.
And she decided to make separate groups within her class as well. So anyway, this is what we see as teachers. We see everything, but if I select here, I can look at only what I have enabled my learners to see. So this was my class, and then if I look at just what was specifically for teachers only, you can see we've got all of our planning in here. So you can actually put your planning documents within the same Hapara workspace as well. So we actually have our teaching and learning.
Wow, so you're as well, aren't they?
Yeah. I have my goals for what I wanted to achieve, because this was a pilot project with virtual reality. I have feedback from classes, a link to Google Forms. I have my evaluation, or Erin's evaluation, and my surveys, my reflections, my log of each lesson and how it went. So all of that are obviously things you don't want learners seeing, so we've just got it in the teachers group. So I'll go back to the learners now, and you can see that some actually submitted their work. Now, this wasn't one where we needed to give it a grade. It's okay. It's fine. Alright, so in this workspace here, if I want to give it a grade, this wasn't an activity that I was grading, but if I wanted to, I could just type in here. So I could type A for excellence, B for merit, or A for achieved, and then I could click on that person, and I could say return for edit if I actually wanted to give them a chance for resubmission, or return final. Now, when a learner has submitted their work, they cannot edit their document at that point. So right now they can't edit it at all. Once I click return for edit, they can have editing access again, and that is all done automatically with the Google Doc. So it's very easy to use. But once I click return final, that's it as well. I don't think they have editing access, so it's quite handy in a way. And obviously, if I had all of my grades, I'd click grade sheet, and it would turn into a Google sheet with all of the grades there as well. Yeah, and that will compile your grades as at where they're sitting. So I could have some that I have graded and returned back to them, and they'll go back into the started column, but they'll actually show that they have a grade, and that will still come up in the grade sheet. So it's very easy. You can update the grade sheet all the time just by clicking the grade sheet button. That is something that can happen, but I have not used that before. So Some of my colleagues have done the training, the Hapara training, but I haven't. So what I'm showing you here is basically me picking this up for the first time this year.
Yep.
And I have to say, like last year, I heard about Hapara, and I kind of refused to use it because I just wanted to stick with classroom at first and just do one thing at a time. Last year was the first year that I used classroom. The beginning of this year, I just decided, yep, just right at the beginning of this year, I didn't have much pre-training. Yeah, and it's really easy to use. It took me maybe a week to feel confident with it, you know. So it's always tricky trying something new with your classes, but actually, um, yeah, once you get used to it, it's absolutely fine because there's only a few buttons that I click regularly. It really is sort of the home, workspace, that stuff, you know. Let me show you quickly some of my senior work so you can see. Now let's see. There they are. Yeah, it's a little bit more. Let's have a look at, yeah, um, this one here. So what we can see here now, I haven't done any color coding on this workspace, but what we do have is I've set up, this is a level 3 history assessment, and we've split it into separate tasks for the learners, so you can have your points along the way, and they've got to submit all the different sections.
Mm-hmm.
And once they're done, then they can all go into the assess column now. We didn't actually give any grades on this workspace, but I wanted to show you how you can set out your different exemplars. And if I were to do this again, this was right at the beginning of the year, I would have color coded. So task 1 exemplar would be color coded the same as task 1. So have a look again. Maybe I'll find.
You seem very familiar with what's going on.
Yeah.
In only 1 year.
Yeah, it's really simple. Oh, this one's quite good because you can see here the grades. So just comes up, you've got your ones that started, and some of them goes, hey, I didn't want a resubmission even though I offered it to them, so that's why it's sitting in the column, and others have been fully assessed. You can, on this one here, actually attach multiple resources within the same card. So for this stuff, these poor darlings had a lot of reading to do. So those are all the different resources that I attach all on the single topic, new line. So you can do that as well. And you can add links to web pages and stuff. A lot of these are Google Docs. And actually, these Google Docs will transfer from Microsoft Word first because Google does that quite easily. You can transfer them over.
Right.
So this works really well with Google Docs and sort of the whole Google Slides or all of those things. Yeah, I think that's about it. I can show you how to set up.
That's fine. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's really